Hello everyone. Welcome to session 25 of Selenium Java training. In today's session, I am going to start explaining about Maven. If you remember, in one of the previous sessions, I already covered Maven, right? You can consider that Maven session as part 1. In today's session, again, I am going to continue the Maven as part 2. So there are few concepts left with Maven, which I will be explaining today. So the last one of the last sessions I covered Maven, guys. Today I am going to continue that. So what did I cover as part of the part 1? What did I cover as part of the part 1? At that time only part 1 was necessary, guys. Okay? At that time when I was explaining Maven part 1, only part 1 portion was enough. Now the time has come for us to complete the Maven as part of the part 2. Okay, fine. What did I cover as part of part 1? I explained how to create, okay, how to create Maven projects, and also I explained, let me show you what did I cover. So let's go here somewhere. What point I covered before test NG, right? I covered here. You see in the session 20, I covered Maven here. So what did I cover? Downloading and configuring Maven, how to download and configure Maven. Second thing is what is the purpose of Maven? Then like creating a Maven project, fine, and adding the dependency tags to the pom.xml file. These are the things I covered. So the things that I covered at a high level for Maven part 1 are downloading and configuring. Okay, downloading and configuring Maven, followed by creating Maven projects, and the purpose of Maven, guys. The purpose of Maven. So what is the purpose of Maven? The purpose of the Maven is to automatically download and configure the jar files. Okay, automatically download and configure the jar files. So when you put the dependency tags for the required jar files in the pom.xml file, this project will automatically download and configure the jar files, guys. You already know. Now let's move to the part 2 of today's session. Okay, we are done with the part 1 as part of the part 20 itself. Okay, you see, session 20 itself we covered the part 1 of Maven. Now let's continue the Maven as part of part 2. Okay, fine. So here, guys, we are going to continue the Maven part 2. So here again, let's create a new Maven project. How to create a Maven project? File, new project, and here select Maven project. Click on next. Click on next. So let's wait for the Eclipse to respond. So click on next. Here type Maven hyphen archetype hyphen quick start. Okay. Maven hyphen archetype hyphen quick start. In this, you should select Arch Apache Maven archetypes, Maven archetype quick start. Click on next. Here give some name to the Maven project. MVP. Okay. MAV. Let's give some different name, guys. I kept on giving names here. So let's give some unique name. Maven project. ME Maven Okay, project, something I am giving here, some different name I am trying to give here. So assume this as a Maven project. And here group ID is FWork. That's okay. This is the name of the project, guys. Okay. Artifact ID is the name of the project. Give some name here. That's fine. Give some name here as M. Okay. Maven. And here some MPack. MPack. Give some name randomly. Click on finish. Maven project is getting created, guys. Maven project is getting created. Let's wait for, okay, it's done. So expand this, expand, expand src test Java and delete this app test.java. It's not required for us. Right click and delete. That's it. So now next steps. We have created a new Maven project with some name. That's fine. And create a class with the name. Create a class ending with the name test. So guys, if I create some class here, let's say demo class. Is this class name ending with test? Guys, is this class name ending with test? No. Krish is saying no. Karan is saying no. That's correct. Okay. It's not ending with test. So it's demo, guys. It's not test. So how to make it ending with the test? Simple, guys. So right click on this demo.java. You already accidentally created. Right click. Refactor. How to rename the classes? Right click. Refactor. If you already created some class and it's not ending with test, you want to modify the name of this class, let's say. Okay. You want to modify the name of this class. Right click on this class. Say which option? Refactor. Then you will get an option known as rename. Select rename. So here at the end, add test. Okay, I will just remove this and say one also. Okay, one test. Click on finish. A class with the name one test got created. This particular name is ending with test. There is a reason why this particular class has to end with test. Okay. So if you want to execute using Maven commands, the main intention of this Maven continuation is to execute this particular Maven project, not from Eclipse IDE, not in Eclipse IDE, from the Maven commands. There are some commands here, guys. You see mvn clean, mvn compile, mvn test. From the command prompt, I'm going to use this command prompt, type some commands here, and this particular Maven project should run. For this to happen, the test should, the class name should end with test, guys. Okay, we have to make sure these particular classes are ending with test. Then only they will run from the command line. So if this particular test is not there here, if this class name doesn't have test, they will not run from the command line, guys. Okay, you cannot run this test from the command line. They will not be recognized. That's the reason we have to make sure these particular classes are ending with the test. It's only for Maven when you run from the command line, guys. Okay. So understood, guys. Is it clear why we are naming the classes with the test? Okay, the name test. Is it clear for you guys? This is for the command line. Okay. If you are running this particular test from the command line, they will not be executed if this particular class name doesn't have that are not ending with test. Okay. So just remember that for a while. Fine. Now let's write some sample code, Selenium code inside this Maven project. So this is the code, guys. I'm going to write. Let me look at the code so that I can write in the similar fashion. Fine. Okay, got it. So here, what I'm going to do is I'm going to create a method, some method, public void test. Okay, some method one or whatever it is. Okay, m1 or whatever it is. Give some method, not a problem. So how to make this a normal method as a test method? How to make this normal method as a test method, guys? Yes, Karan, you are right. We have to provide at the rate test annotation. Okay, we have to provide at the rate test annotation. Hover the mouse on at the rate test. Select import test. Sorry, I did a mistake. What is the mistake, guys? I will say Control Z. You see, hover the mouse. I should not import this test from the JUnit. I imported test from the JUnit, which is wrong. From where I have to import this annotation? Guys, from where I have to annotate this, where I have to import this annotation? JUnit, is it right? If not JUnit, from where? Anyone? Yes, TestNG library is correct. You are right, Krish. Okay, TestNG. But this particular project is not already configured with TestNG. That's why when I hover, I am not getting any import TestNG here. So what I have to do? I have to go to mvnrepository.com. Okay, mvnrepository.com. Here, search for TestNG. And once you search for TestNG, I got this TestNG. Open this. Here, this is the latest version. Open this latest version. Copy this dependency tags and go to your pom.xml file and simply add this TestNG dependency under the dependency tags. Already one dependency is there, as you can see. That is of by default JUnit has come. We have not added. So along with that, let's add TestNG. Save it. Okay, save it. You see, the jar files got automatically downloaded and they have automatically configured somewhere here. Okay, so TestNG will be there here. That's fine. You see, TestNG 7.3.0 already added and configured to this project. Now, if you go to this one test.java, over the mouse and add the red test, you will get import test annotation from TestNG. Import that. That's it. Now here, let's write some Selenium sample Selenium code. I'll start writing. Driver is equal to new Chrome driver. So before I explain all this commands and all those stuff, okay, we are getting the test ready. Okay, so I'm going to write a sample Selenium script for this particular test. For the mouse on WebDriver, can I import? Can I import WebDriver, guys? No, right? We cannot do that. So what I have to do, guys? How to import this WebDriver? How to get import WebDriver interface from Selenium? How to get that? What I have to do? Guys, you can ping in the chat if you want. So what I have to do if I have to import this WebDriver? Yes, again I have to add the dependency. You are right. So how to add that? Again go to MVN repository. This time search for Selenium Java. Open this and you'll get this 3.141.59, which is the latest stable version. Copy this, add the dependencies here. Put a tab, save it. That's it. Okay. Selenium jars got automatically downloaded and configured in this project. Now hover the mouse on WebDriver. Now this time you got import WebDriver interface from Selenium. Import it. Again Chrome driver from Selenium. And this time if I run this, I'll get some you need to provide the path of the Chrome driver.exe. Instead of that, what I will do, I'll take the help of WebDriver manager. WebDriver manager dot. This will not work. Again, we need to add the dependency tags for WebDriver manager. For that, we have to go to MVN repository, search for WebDriver manager. Open this and go with the latest version of WebDriver manager. Copy this and come here and here somewhere paste WebDriver manager. Now save again. WebDriver manager is getting downloaded and configured. Now if you say WebDriver manager dot, WebDriver manager dot, this time you will get Chrome driver dot exe. WebDriver manager dot Chrome driver dot setup. Okay, setup. Now let's write the sample statements. That is driver dot manage dot window dot maximize, then driver dot manage dot timeouts dot implicitly wait. How much time? 10. Time unit dot seconds. That's it. Okay, that's it, guys. So then we have to write the, we have to, for example, I would like to automate this omai.blogspot.com, one of the scenario from this. Copy this. I'll say driver dot get. Here I'll put the URL. After opening the application, I would like to verify whether this practice automation here text is available on this page or not. Okay. I want to verify whether this text is displayed here or not. How to do that? First of all, I need to retrieve this text from here. How to retrieve the text? Right click, inspect. So it has an ID, guys. P tag with the ID, PH. Copy this ID and say driver dot find element by dot ID. Provide the ID that you copied. Then dot get the text. This text I am going to store into string actual text. What will be this text, guys? What will be this text? This text will be nothing but practice automation here. You can print it out if you want. System.out.println this actual text. Then after this, I will say driver dot close. If I run this code, what will happen? If I run this code, this will retrieve this particular text, that is practice automation here text. So right click, run as test-ng test. Let it run. You see what got retrieved? Practice automation text. Practice automation here text got printed here because we printed here. Instead of this, I'll add some validation statements. Okay, that is assert dot testng related, guys. Assert is a predefined class from testng, as I already explained. Assert dot assert equals assert equals string expected comma string actual. I'll select this. So what happened? Saying something here. I'll do one more thing. So it has selected from which library, guys? JUnit. Okay, JUnit. That's why it's giving such kind of error. Remove that. Remove that import statement. Now again, assert dot. We have to select from testng, guys, not JUnit. So here you see some things are getting displayed from JUnit, some things are getting displayed for testng. If you want to overcome that problem, simply remove this and go to the pom.xml file. Somewhere in the dependencies, by default, JUnit was there. It's confusing us, right? So simply remove this. Okay, if it is confusing you, simply remove. We don't want JUnit. Save this. Now go here. Now this time you will only get testng. Assert dot. Still we are getting JUnit, guys, somehow. That's fine. Save it. Now say assert dot. Don't select JUnit, guys. Okay. Still it is a confusing thing for us. Still JUnit is not going. Somewhere it is somewhere in the defaults. So only select from testng, guys. Okay. Or dot testng something. Select something asset equals from, again JUnit got selected. Remove this, import this from testng. Okay, just remove this and import this from testng. Import asset from testng. That's it. This time it will not be, error will not be displayed for you. Expected actual. Actual is this one. Actual is this one. So okay, so what is expected? Expected is this one. I'm expecting this part. So this is while running the automation script, this got retrieved. Actual text got retrieved. This should match with the expected. Like this, you have to write asset dot asset equals like this. Fine. So if this text is matching with the actual retrieved text from getText method, okay, if this text is matching with this driver dot, or if you want to optimize the statements, you can remove this part, guys. Okay, directly put this driver dot find element dot get text here. Okay, so if from this element some text is we are getting some text, right? This text should match with practice automation here. This is expected text. If this is correct, if these both are equal, then what will happen? The test will pass. The test will pass, guys. Otherwise test will fail. As per test engine, the test will fail. If they are not matching, the test will fail. So finally I will say driver dot close. This is a sample automation script I have written here, guys. So what will happen if I run this? If I run this, what will happen? Right click, run as testng test. The test should pass, guys. Okay, the test should pass. Okay, so here, go here and see that the test has passed. The text has passed. What if I give some ABC here? Intentionally expected text I am changing. So this will retrieve without ABC. So the expected text has ABC. This is not matching the ABC. So it will fail. Okay, if I intentionally I am trying to fail by adding ABC here, this will fail, guys. So you see, the failure is already there. This has failed. Assertion failed. Assertion error. Expected practice automation here, but found ABC something. Okay. So here maybe we have to write this one this side and this one this side. Okay. Expected this side and actual this side, guys. Now let's run this. A proper assertion message will be displayed now. Right click, run as testng test. There is a problem here, guys. I will tell you what is that problem and I will also give you the solution for that. Let's wait for a while. So here failure happened already. Okay. So it expected practice automation here. Expected text is practice automation ABC. But what is the actual text that is retrieved? The actual text that is retrieved is without ABC. That's why it is failing. So if you don't provide this ABC here, this will pass, right? But let's keep this ABC there itself. And there is a problem, guys. When ABC text is there, when this particular assertion statement is failing and it's failing like this, the next step is not getting executed. Okay. Driver dot close is not getting executed, guys. Because of the failure here, this is not getting failed, not getting executed. Because of that, the browser is not getting closed. In real time also, when one of your tests fails, if your browser doesn't close, if hundreds of tests fails, the browser doesn't close, what will happen, guys? In your machine, how many browsers will be opened without closing? 100 browsers, right? So do you want such kind of thing to happen? Even it is failure or pass, at the last, what should happen? The browser should close. The browser is not closing. It's a problem or not, guys? What do you think, guys? Do you think closing of the browser is good or bad? The browser should close or not, guys? Even after failure also, the browser is, it will be better if it closes, right? Even after failure also, this particular statement should be executed. But this is not happening. To overcome that problem, what we can do is, we can create another method, public void closure. Okay, closure, public void closure, test closure or whatever it is. At the rate test. I should not write at the rate test. I should write after method. After method, you know, right? I explained about the annotations. So after method annotation, method from test ng. So what will happen is, this particular method will execute after the test. Irrespective of whether the test will pass or fail, this after method will be executed. So simply I will move this driver.close here. Again there will be a problem. Here you will get error, guys. Anyone can guess why we are getting this error with the driver here? Anyone can guess why the driver is getting an error here in the after method? How to overcome this problem? Can anyone say? Simple, guys. This driver here, okay? So you created this. Yeah, need to import from M1. You are saying, Krish is saying something, that's fine. So driver is local to M1. Driver is, you created an object for this. This is the object reference, right? This object reference is local here. But driver is not visible here. Because driver is local to this particular method, M1 method, we cannot access in the closer method. That's the problem. Okay. How to make it global? How to make this driver global? Copy this part, guys. Simply directly inside the class, put this class like this. Okay. And you don't require this WebDriver here now. Driver, that's it. WebDriver driver. Okay. WebDriver driver. Create the object, I mean variable for this WebDriver interface here. And here assign this object here. Now it became global. Since the visibility of the driver is directly inside the class, this driver class is visible everywhere inside this class. So all the methods, this is one method, the second method, all the methods in the class now can see this driver. Now can see this driver because driver is now global, not local. Okay. So this is the reason, guys. Okay, we are getting error because earlier driver was local to only M1. Only inside M1 we can use. Now since I make this web driver as global thing, I can access this driver in all the methods. Fine. And also one more thing happened here. I just moved this driver.close inside this closure method. So this particular method will be executed after every test method. So once this particular test method is executed, either the test method has passed or failed, it doesn't matter. What will happen? This method will be executed after this test method. At any cost, this method will be executed because it is annotated with after method. After method, annotated methods will be executed after every test methods. So after this one will be executed as per test engine. So it will execute driver.close. This time we'll see whether even after failure, this particular browser is getting closed or not. You see here, it should fail. ABC is still there. So it should close even after that. Right click, run as test ng test. The browser is opening. You see it has failed. It has failed, right? But you see the browser has closed or not. What do you think, guys? Can you see the browser being closed here? Okay. Even after failure also the browser got closed. Just by moving it to after method, driver.close statement, we are able to close the browser even after execution of the test, and even after the test ng has failed the test, still the browser is closed. This is how we can overcome this problem, guys. Fine. Now we have the sample Selenium code written. Let's go to the next steps. The next step is we have to make sure Maven Surefire plugin is inside pom.xml file. Okay. So what is that Maven Surefire plugin? Let me explain first. Maven Surefire plugin. There's a plugin known as Maven Surefire plugin, guys. So if your requirement is to execute your Maven test, okay. Let me remove this ABC, guys. This will fail every time otherwise. Okay, remove this ABC here. this particular test should pass. So I am just removing ABC for now. So let's come to the context. Maven Surefire plugin. The purpose of the plugin is if you are going to execute your automation scripts using the command line, okay, using the commands from the command line tool, then okay, then we need this Maven Surefire plugin. We need this Maven Surefire plugin. Let me write down here. If you want to execute your automation tests, okay, using the Maven commands from the command line. From the command line, if you want to execute your automation scripts using the Maven commands, okay, then what is required, guys? Then we need Maven Surefire plugin. Without this, we cannot run, guys. There are two rules, guys. If you want to execute your automation test using the Maven commands from the command line, the first rule is already there. Then we need to end our test with which word, guys? Our test should end with which word? Type in the chat, guys. Which word we have to end our test with? When you want to run our automation scripts from the command line using the Maven commands, our automation test names should end with which word? Which word? Already explained in this session itself. You can type in the chat, guys. Which word? Our automation test should end with which word? I'm just giving the clue also. I'm showing the test and I am telling you using which word the test should end with. Yes, Krish, you are right. It should end with the test. That's the first rule. Okay. Second rule is we should have this Maven Surefire plugin installed. Okay. We need this Maven Surefire plugin. Second rule is Maven Surefire plugin should be there. So here go to pom.xml file. So here somewhere some auto-generated plugins are already there here, guys. I have not put these plugins my own. They came by default. I simply created the Maven project in the fashion I wanted, and I got this plugins section. Okay, somewhere in this plugins already we got this Maven Surefire plugin. Okay, we already got this Maven Surefire plugin. If you don't get this thing by default, guys, you have to create by your own. Okay, if you don't get this build plugin management plugin kind of thing by default, you have to manually type this. Okay, you have to manually type like this build. Under this build you have to type plugin management. Under this plugin management you have to build plugins. Sorry, this is plugins. Okay, under plugins we have individual plugins. Under this you have to put plugin, and under this you have to provide something. For Maven Surefire plugin you have to provide something. That is, go here to the Google, just type Maven Surefire plugin. That's it. Okay, only up to here. Maven Surefire plugin. Go to this page and just see if you get anything here. Simply select usage. Okay, select usage, guys. Okay, select usage and see here. So what is a plugin here? Build plugin management plugins. You can copy this enter thing if you want. Copy this, copy this, and just paste it here like this. Okay, just paste it is here like this. If you don't get this thing by default, you have to type copy paste into your pom.xml file. Then you will get Maven Surefire plugin. But guys, here in my case, what happened? In my case, what happened? Already this build plugin management plugins, everything is there. I have to check whether Maven Surefire plugin is there or not. Yes, it is already there, guys. Okay, it's already there. But some older version is there. Some older version is there. This plugin, some older version is there. In my case, what I'm going to do is instead of copying everything from build to build, I'll only put these three lines. Okay, group ID, artifact ID, version, which is the latest version. Copy this three lines and go to my pom.xml file, and I will simply replace, guys, okay, with the latest version details. Simple like this. Only for Maven Surefire plugin I will do this and save this. In my case, I'm doing this, guys. If you don't get this build plugin management, simply copy paste from here to here and paste it. If you already get something like this build, if you already pom.xml file has this build plugins management plugins and all, simply find whether you have this Maven Surefire plugin or not. If it is there under the plugin, just paste this three lines. This will be enough. Okay, done. So two things are done. We already got this Maven Surefire plugin inside this pom.xml file. We already added the latest version of Maven Surefire plugin. So now we have to go to the next steps is, let me explain about this Maven build lifecycle phases. There are many phases in Maven build lifecycle, guys. You can search in Google, guys, if you want. Maven build cycle phases. Maven build life cycle phases. There are multiple phases for Maven. So a lot of documentation is there here. You see there are several phases commands. These are all phases, guys. Validate phase, compile phase, test phase, package phase, verify phase, install phase. These are all phases. So we are going to use these phases in the commands, Maven commands. So there are many phases, but you don't have to learn everything, guys. Okay, we don't need all this stuff. We don't need all these commands. Only few commands we need. Only these three phases we need: clean, compile, test. Three phases enough. Okay, clean, compile, test. Three build phases are enough. But for your knowledge, Maven, a build lifecycle Maven has multiple phases. A build lifecycle of Maven, okay? Lifecycle of Maven is made up of multiple phases. That is, these are the different phases for your knowledge. Validate, compile, test, package, verify. Every phase has its own purpose, okay? It is on purpose. The compile phase, for example, is for compiling the project. Generally, Eclipse will automatically compile this project for compiler errors. If I simply remove this compiler semicolon here, I'm going to get a compiler error syntax, right? This compilation without Eclipse ID, this compilation of this code without Eclipse ID can be done with the help of Maven using this compile phase command. Okay, using this compile phase command, we can do that with Maven. Even if we don't have Eclipse ID, if you have this code only, then we can compile, guys. Okay, using this Maven phase known as compile. Test means it will execute your test case. Okay, it will verify whether it will simply execute, guys. We are manually running here, right? Run as test ng test. The same thing will be performed by the test. Okay, like that. So somewhere we have clean also. Clean will remove the build errors. For example, this particular Maven project is having some build errors. Okay, it's not clean, it's kind of having some errors. So before executing or before compiling itself, this particular project has some errors. Errors in the sense build errors. Okay, build errors. So when there are some problems, build errors will come. For cleaning such kind of build errors, you have to use clean command. Okay, we generally don't have to learn so much depth, guys. That's why I'm not giving you some examples of what are the build error and all the stuff. Okay, so don't worry about clean, verify, test, all those commands. Okay, I will explain you what is really required. I'll explain you. I'm just explaining at a high level what is clean. Okay, if this particular Maven project has some build errors at the structure level, not the code level, guys. Don't think they are compiler errors. Okay, at the project level, something is going wrong. Okay, then those are called as build level. Project level errors are known as build errors, guys, of Maven. Such kind of errors you want to remove, which command you have to use? Clean command, mvn clean. Okay, if you want to compile this complete project at the project level, if you want to compile, then you have to use which phase? Build Maven build phase, lifecycle phase, compile. Okay, if you want to execute this particular project, then which command we have to use? Maven command, test command. These three are enough. Okay, clean for cleaning the build errors, compile for compiling the test for compiler errors, test for executing the test, executing the test. These three will be enough. So you don't have to learn much other than this. So Maven build lifecycle phases. So I'm going to go to the project directory and perform this build phases. Okay, these are the three commands I have to give, guys. Mvn clean for cleaning the build errors, cleaning the project and removing the build errors if any. Mvn compile for compiling and seeing if there are any compiler errors, it will detect and show us. MVN test performs. It actually executes, guys. Before executing, it will automatically perform this clean and compile. Okay. So here we have three commands. MVN clean is there, MVN compile is there, MVN test is there. Test actually includes clean and compile. Okay. Apart from execution of the test, before executing the test, it will first perform clean, then perform compile, then only perform test. So even though you give only test, it will perform all these things. Okay. Clean and compile are part of the test itself. So when you are going to run the test, simply give MVN test. You don't have to give MVN clean, MVN compile. Automatically MVN test will perform the clean, compile and test. Okay, any compiler errors also it will let us know. So let's go with the MVN test only. You don't have to trigger this MVN key clean and compile, because when you say MVN test, automatically clean and compile are automatically performed. Fine. Fine. So how to run this command, MVN test command then? Guys, any guesses how we can run this MVN test command? Simple. From where we have to run? We have to run from the command line. Okay. Yes, from command prompt we have to open. But I will open the command prompt in a different way. Okay. I have to go to the project directory and then we'll open the command prompt. How to do that? Here, this is my Maven project, guys. Right click on this project name, say properties. Under resource, we got the path of the project. Go to this project. Simple. Go to this project. This is the project folder, guys. Open this project folder. Now here, where you can see this pom.xml file, what you have to do? You have to provide cmd command here. So the command prompt, we have started the command from which directory? The project directory itself. Here we have to run the commands. Okay. Don't run the commands from some other path. Run the run the commands from this path. The project path you have to go and then run the commands here. The project path where you will see this pom.xml file of this project. From there you have to run the commands. Which command? MVN. Which command I have to run, guys? MVN followed by which command? MVN space. We can run clean command. We can run clean command. That's fine. If I say MVN clean, only the clean command will run. You see, build success, clean. Project is clean now. Okay, there are no build errors. That's fine. Now MVN. Next command is which command we have to explore after clean? Yes, compile. Run this MVN compile. This will see if our project has any compiler errors. No, there are no compiler errors. That's fine. Now if I want to run this, which command I have to run here? MVN? Yes, test. But test will also do the cleaning and compiling again. Okay. So next time when you are going to run the MVN commands, directly go with MVN test. You don't need to specifically run MVN clean, MVN compile. These are already part of the test. Why we have to do again, right? If I say MVN test, this time the test will be executed, guys. Okay, the test will be executed. You see running one test. The browser has launched. You see, the browser has from the command line we are running the Maven project test. Okay, Maven project test. You see that has run and it is passed also. Failures are 0, errors are 0. Like this, guys, we have to run the commands from the command line. Now, guys, this time you are going to get some different reports. Okay, since we have this Maven Surefire plugin, okay, in our project we have this Maven Surefire plugin. We'll get another type of reports, and you are running from the command line. You will get another reports. Refresh this project. Under target, expand this target folder, guys. Do you see anything like Surefire reports? Surefire reports, yes, right? Under Surefire reports, you have this index.html. These are Maven Surefire reports. Okay, open with web browser. These are Maven Surefire reports. Fine. So another type of reports we have seen. Anyhow, I'll explain more about this Maven Surefire reports during the extent reports topic. Okay. So here we have this extends reports topic. During this, I will explain more about that Surefire reports. But for now, understand that since we have this Maven Surefire plugin in our project, we are getting this separate another type of reports known as Maven Surefire reports. From where you can get that under target folder under Surefire reports, we have this index.html file, which are nothing but Maven Surefire reports. Fine. Now, when I say MVN test, what will happen is it will perform clean, compile, and test, right? It will execute simply. Okay, it will first perform cleaning, then perform compiling of the code, then it will perform the test. It will execute the test, and it will also generate the Maven Surefire reports. Along with that, before executing the test here, it will verify whether the required jar files, okay, required jar files are that are mentioned in the pom.xml file are available or not. So guys, here I am saying that when I put some dependency tags, into my pom.xml file of the project, I'm saying that these jar files are automatically downloaded, right? Where are they downloaded, guys? Where are they downloaded? Where are these jar files available? Here we have this testng, and here we have WebDriver Manager, Selenium, Java. Lot of 3 jar files are there. Where do you think these jar files are available? Where they are downloaded in my computer, in my local machine, where these jar files are downloaded? They are simply downloaded in C drive, okay, users folder, my username of my computer, that is Arvinyam, and we have this folder known as .m2, okay, .m2 folder. Uh, okay, .m2 folder, guys. Open this m2 folder. Better to, like, while going through this kind of things, right? Make sure that this hidden items is selected. Okay. So not only this one, anything, because sometimes you may not find something you want because some folders will be hidden. So make sure that hidden items is selected also. Okay. M2. So C drive, users folder, username, M2, then repository, then we have this org. Okay. So where we have testng. So these are the jar files of testng. There are jar files of testng. Currently, we have put the dependency tags for testng 7.3.0. So in my local machine, the required jar files are already there. Selenium jar files are here. Okay, Selenium jar files are here. Selenium Java. You see, we have put 3.141. Okay, 3.141.59. Selenium jar files are there here. So whatever the jar files you are putting into the pom.xml file, they are getting created under this M2. In my local machine, they are available in the this particular path. Okay, C drive user Selenium .m2 repository. Under that we have the jar files. So the jar files are being maintained locally in my machine. So when you trigger this MVN test will check whether the required jar files for this project are available in my local machine or not. Okay, it will verify that. It will verify whether the required jar files are available at this particular path or not. If they are not available, what it will do? It will download first. Okay, it will download the jar files, then only it will execute. Okay, the jar files are not there. It will download the jar files and then will execute. Fine, guys. Understood? Understood. So every time we should not download, right? Every time if you provide these dependency tags, every time you should not download. It will Maven will verify whether these dependency tags are available in my local machine or there. If they are available, it will not download again. It will not download again. That kind of thing will happen. So guys, is it clear? Is it clear? Where the local jar files of Maven got downloaded? Okay, Maven dependencies got downloaded in your local machine. Is it clear for you? So MVN test will just verify whether the required jar files are there in your local machine or not. If not there, it will ask you to download. Okay. So it apart from performing the cleaning, compiling, and execution, it will also verify whether the required jar files are there in your local machine. And if not available, it will download. So these are the actions of MVN test. So what is the purpose of env test is to perform clean compile test and verify the required jar files are available or not. If not available, it will download the jar files into your local machine and then execute the test. Now, so far clear guys? So far clear? Just type S if it is clear so far. MVN test and all those stuff. If it is clear so far, just type S so that we can move on to the next part here. Okay, fine. Now guys, what I will do here is I'll simply write something here. System.out.println m1 executed. Okay, m1 executed. I'll create one more class, new class, two test. Okay, two tests. Multiple classes I am creating guys. Two tests. Public void m2. Okay, m2. Here simply system.out.println m2 executed, and I will put this at the rate test annotation here. Import this test ng test. Another class I will create, new class 3 test. Okay, another one is 3 test. Finish. Public void m3 at the rate test. System.out.println m3 executed. One more class, right click, new class 4 test. I'm creating multiple classes with an intention here guys. I'll explain that soon. Okay, why I'm creating multiple classes here. Public void m4 at the rate test. System.out.println m4 executed. Like this we have 4 classes. So test, 2 tests, 3 tests, 4 tests, 1 test. Now guys, if I give mvn test here, how many classes will be executed? Tell me guys. Will all these 4 classes will be executed or only one class? What do you think guys? If I run mvn test here we have 4 classes which are ending with the test name, right? Either one class will be executed or 4 classes. So Karan is saying only one class. Anand is saying all the 4. What about others? What about others guys? Yeah, Sony is also saying, everyone is saying, almost everyone is saying 4. That's correct guys. Here I am not giving any specific test name. When I simply say mvn test, all the tests which are ending with the test name will be executed. That's it. Nothing more than that. Okay. So run this. All the 4 tests will be executed. All the 4 tests will be executed. You see M4 already executed. M4 already got executed here. You see M4 executed. It got printed. Now you see M1 executed. Okay, M1 executed. M3 executed. M2 executed. How many classes got executed? 4. 4 tests. There are only one test inside every class. There is one test only. Okay, one test method. M1, M3, M4. All these 4 tests got executed. You can see M1 got failed. Okay, so something got failed here. That is the older message, I guess. Okay, that is older message, guys. Okay, this is not updated it. That's fine. So here we can see the actual result here. Test runner 4. Okay, test runner 4 and everything got passed. So no need to worry. Fine. Now here guys. Now my requirement is to not run all the 4 tests. My requirement is here when I say mvn test, how many tests are running? 4 tests are running. But my requirement is to run, when I run this test from here, only this 2 and 4 should run. I don't want 1 and 3 should run. I don't want 1 and 3. Only 2 and 4 tests should run. What I have to do? What I have to do? Yeah. So what I have to do is, first I have to create a testng.xml file. Okay. If I don't want to run all the 4 tests, when I simply say mvn test, all the 4 tests are running, guys. All the 4 tests are running. But I don't want to run all the 4 tests. I only want to run 2 and 4. Out of all the available tests, only 2 and 4 I want to run. I want to customize like that. For that, I need to create a testng.xml file. How to create a testng.xml file? Right click on this project, go to testng, and then select convert to testng. Automatically, testng.xml file will be auto generated. By default, it is auto generating with 4 things: 3 tests, 1 test, 2 tests, 4 tests. Let's create. So testng.xml file got created. I am opening here. So in this, I don't want to run which classes? 1 and 3 I don't want. I only want 2 and 4. Okay. I only want 2 and 4. This is testng.xml file, and I would like to run only 2 tests. That is test 2 and 2 tests and 4 tests, not 1 and 3. So I just created that. So I have to run, right click run as like this. If I run this, only 2 tests will, out of these 4 tests will be executed. That's fine. But the problem here is I want to run from command line. If I say mvn test, how many tests will be run this time, guys? Tell me. 2 or 4? Here 4 tests are there. I created a testng.xml file. Where inside this testng.xml file only 2 tests are there. So now if I say mvn test, 4 tests will be executed, or 2 tests on the testng.xml file will be executed. What do you think? Just give a guess. Just give a guess. So a lot of people are saying 2. Okay, all are saying 2, but that's not correct. But that's not correct, guys. When you say mvn test, it will not consider testng.xml file. It will still consider all these 4 tests only. You see, all the 4 tests. Even after you create the testng.xml file also, all the 4 tests will be executed, guys, not 2 tests. Okay. You see, so m4 is done, m1 is done. You see, all the 4 tests got executed, not 2 tests. All the 4 tests got executed. How to overcome this problem? The problem here is we have to do some changes in the pom.xml file, guys. Okay, if you want, okay, when you run this, if you want to run only that tests that are mentioned in the testng.xml file, you need to do few changes. That is, go to pom.xml file, and here in the Maven Surefire plugin, go to this area where Maven Surefire plugin is there. Okay, here we need to add few more things inside this plugin tags for Maven Surefire plugin. Apart from these 3 lines, we have to add few more lines. Okay, then only whatever we are expecting will happen. So what is that? How to search it? 1 minute. So here we have to this thing. Okay, we have to add the Maven Surefire plugin for test engine configure into the Surefire plugin. So simply in the Google search for Maven Surefire plugin for testng configuration. Okay, just search this text in the Google, guys. Okay, Maven Surefire plugin for testng configuration. Enter like this. Maven Surefire plugin using testng you will get. Click on this. There somewhere here, scroll down. You'll get this file using testng XML files. So here already we added these 3 lines, right? In our pom.xml file, already we added these 3 lines. Up to here is already there. So apart from this, we have this configuration. This is testng configuration, guys. You see testng.xml file is provided here. Copy this configuration, go to your pom.xml file, put this here. At the end of this version, just put this configuration. Okay, put this tab. Okay. So inside this plugin, Maven Surefire plugin, we should add this configuration, and we clearly specify testng.xml file. If there is some other name for this testng.xml file, you need to update that here. Okay. Since it is testng.xml file, here also testng.xml file. Now save it. Now if I run mv and test, what will happen? Tell me guys. After updating this configuration into this pom.xml file, okay. So if I run this mv and test, what will happen? 2 tests will run or 4 tests will run this time? This time give a guess guys. I updated the configuration and mentioned that clearly. Then whenever you are running this mv and test, consider the testng.xml file. Clearly mentioned for the surefire plugin that consider the testng.xml file, not all the tests in the project. So how many tests will run in testng.xml file? Only 2 tests are there. So this time only 2 tests will run. Enter this. See, only 2 tests should run, not 4. That's it. You see how many got executed guys? Test run is equal to only 2. Because after configuring this pom.xml file, Maven Surefire plugin with this testng configuration, okay, we clearly mentioned that whenever you are running the Maven commands, consider only this testng.xml file. Only the things that are mentioned in the testng.xml file will be executed, not all the tests in the class. Fine. Only 2 tests got executed. M2, M4. Whatever we thought, they got executed. Like this guys, like this we have to customize. So all the advanced topics guys, for your customization needs, when generally you work with the Maven project, you work with the testng, okay. So this kind of things you have to learn. Now I want to run only a particular test, okay. So out of all this text, I want to run specifically one test. What I have to do? For that there is a command mvn -d test. I don't remember the command. Let's see this command and just let's look into this command and just type mvn -d test -d test. What is the test name? Test name is here in our project. What is the test name? Let's say let's run this 3 tests. Okay, we have to give the test name here -d test 3 tests, 3 tests space test. So in between mv and test command, we are giving this extra thing that is -d test 3 tests. Okay, name of the class that we want to run, we are giving, and press enter here. This time only one test will run. Whatever the test name that you provided here will run guys. If you are on to run a particular test, you have to follow this approach. How many tests? Only one run. That is M3 executed. M3 test got executed. Fine. Like this. One more thing left out guys. That is creating profiles. Okay. Creating profiles. Let's say before going to the profiles, let's say here we have testng.xml file. Let's assume that in this testng.xml file, all the tests are provided. 2, 4, 3 tests and 1 test. Okay. 1 test. And let's say in this all these tests, I want to, since it is already since it is a complete test, right? I will think that I will make this as regression. Okay, I will rename or you can copy also. You can copy paste also. Control V, and I'm just going to give the name as regression here. Regression.xml. This is also a testng.xml file, but with the name regression. If you opt for regression, how many tests are there? 4 tests are there, right? Again, I will paste it here. The testng.xml file I am pasting. I'll just copy the testng.xml file I am pasting here. And this time I will give smoke.xml. Smoke is also a testng file, but with the name smoke. Open the smoke, and in this smoke, I only want 2, 3, and 4. One I don't want. Okay, one I don't want. In smoke or 3 and 4 will be enough for me. Okay, let's say in smoke only 3 and 4 are smoke tests. Remaining are regression tests. Let's say we have such kind of separate XML files. Now, if I want to run only smoke.xml, or if I want to run regression.xml file, what I have to do? For that, okay, when I simply say mvn, okay, if I simply say some command here, if I give some command here mvn test and give the name of the test I want to run, then what I have to do? I have to add some profiles, guys. Where I have to add? Into the pom.xml file. Open this pom.xml file. Open this pom.xml file. Somewhere before the build plugins, here I need to add some profiles. How to add that? Don't have to remember that. So already I'm just giving this link here. Copy this link, guys. Open in your browser somewhere. Already some code is already written here. Okay, profiles. This profiles, copy this profiles from here to here and put into your form.xml file like this. Okay, this extra thing you are adding profiles. Under this profiles there are two profiles. Profile 1 from here to here is profile 1. Okay, from here to here is another profile. Like this you can create any number of profiles. Tomorrow if you want to create another profile, copy this part, put it here like this. Okay, another profile you got. Let's say this is a random profile like this. Okay, just give the name of the profile, ID of the profile as random. Fine. Like this you can create any number of profiles. Let me delete that. For now only how many profiles I have? Under this profiles I have two profiles. First profile I am naming it as regression profile. Okay, and in this remaining things are same, guys. You see Maven Surefire plugin configuration. These are you already know, right? In this build also we have this Maven Surefire plugin with this configuration. Same thing we are creating in the profiles. Okay, so here what you have to do is, okay, what you have to do here is here you have to provide the exact testng.xml file. Here for regression, you are giving regression.xml. Just make sure the spelling is correct. Regression.xml, regression.xml. And another profile we have for smoke, we all have smoke.xml. So we have to put the smoke.xml here and you have to name this profile as smoke. Save it, that's it. Okay. Now what we have to do? Now let's see whether we can run these commands or not. mvn test. Okay, clean is up to you whether you want to clean or not. mvn clean -p. Okay, -p stands for after -p you have to provide the profile name. What is the profile you want to run? In this form.xml file there are two profiles. Regression profile is there, smoke profile is there. If you open the smoke dot something, it will run 3 and 4 only. Okay, 3 and 4. So I want to give the smoke. So what is the name? ID. What is the ID? ID you have to copy and paste it here. mvn test profile, only run the profile with the name smoke. So when you run this, only smoke test should run, guys. Okay, not all tests, only smoke test. That is 3 and 4 tests should run. You see, M3 got executed, M4 got executed, only 2 tests got run because in smoke.xml only 3 and 4 are there. Like this we can create the profiles also. Any number of profiles you can create. You just need to provide this code into this form.xml file. So clear, guys? So far clear how to run the Maven commands. Okay, how to run the Maven commands, how to run only the tests that we want to run, how to create profiles, and how to run only that test related to that particular profiles. Is everything clear for you so far? So these all commands are important, guys. Okay, this we use that in real time. We use these commands. That's why we need them. Okay, that's why we need them. Why we need to learn Maven commands, you will understand when after I explain Jenkins. Okay, after I explain Jenkins, you will understand why we need Maven commands. So for Jenkins we need this Maven commands, guys. Okay, so far clear, guys? Type yes if it is clear for you so that I can go to the next topic, that is Jenkins. Great, good to see the SS. That's fine. Now let's move to the Jenkins. Next part is Jenkins. Okay, what is Jenkins? I am going to explain. Fine, fine, guys. So what is Jenkins? I am going to explain. So guys, so far so far when I create some automation scripts, let's say I want to run this 4 tests. How should I run, guys? I have to right click here and manually go to run as and then select this option. Then this particular test will run. So here running is manually. Initiation of the automation script is happening manually, but I want to automate this. That is possible with the help of Jenkins. Automate the execution also. Execution initiation also. So this automation script, we have only automated what should be executed, right? What should be executed, we automated, but we didn't automate this particular initiation of the test. So in order to insert this particular test, I have to right click, run as test test. This I have to do manually. If you want this particular thing to be automated, what you have to do? The answer is Jenkins. Okay. So automating the initiation of the automation script. It's not about automating what automation script has to do is something already done. Okay. Here you have written a lot of Selenium code for the user actions to be automated. But here the execution itself I want to automate. So if I don't automate, what will happen? I have to manually come here, right click on this test, run as test test. I have to do this manually. Like this, I have to do this manually, right? I don't want to do that manually. I want Jenkins to do that. I want Jenkins to start the automation test itself. The automation of the initiation of the automation test should be happen by Jenkins. So automating the execution initiation is something Jenkins is all about, and few more advantages are there. Okay, Jenkins will automatically execute the automation tests. We don't have to go to the project, right click here and run as. That is not required. Jenkins will invoke this test and automatically run the test. When automatically run the test, according to the automation code you have provided here, the execution will happen. Okay, everything should be automated from end to end. Even running of this automation test also should be automated. This is possible with the help of Jenkins. With the help of Jenkins, we can automate the initiation of the automation scripts also. How this will happen, I'll explain now. Okay. Using Jenkins, we can schedule and trigger the scripts at early hours. For example, guys, for example, you go to your office, right? You go to your office. Every day you work at your office, let's say. So you work from 9 a.m. to 6 p.m. Let's say this is your office timing. This is your office timing. So what you will do here is, so you will perform all the testing activities from 9 to 6 p.m. And after this, you'll go to your home, right? You will go to your home. Again, tomorrow you'll come to offices by 9 a.m. You will come. Okay. By 9 a.m. you will come to office in the next day. By this time you come to office, you want your automation reports before you. Okay. Some automation reports before you. Let's say the automation is taking something around 8 hours. There are some good number of automation tests in your project. Let's say this is your project and this particular project has good number of automation tests. And when you run the automation test, it is taking 8 hours. Do you waste your time in your working time? From 9 a.m. to 6 p.m. if you run this, what will happen? Your time will be wasted, right? You have to keep on looking what is going wrong, what is going right, and all those stuff. Instead of that, okay, you will schedule the Jenkins. What we'll do? We'll schedule the Jenkins to activate. Okay, what will schedule the Jenkins to activate at 1 a.m. every day. That is in the midnight, guys. Okay, 1 a.m. early hours, 1 a.m. This Jenkins should be activated. So we are scheduling the Jenkins to activate at 1 a.m. so that it will go to our automation scripts and start the execution automatically. You are not there because at this time you will be sleeping at your home. Okay, you cannot come to your computer and run this right click on this and run as. You cannot do this, right? So you will not be awake at that time. At 1 a.m. you will not be awake. You will be sleeping. But what you will do earlier itself, you will configure Jenkins in such a way that you will schedule it to activate at 1 a.m. At 1 a.m. Jenkins will wake up for you and go to your automation test and initiate the, okay, it will initiate the execution. Initiate the execution. So this initiation happened at which time? 1 a.m. And total time, how much time it will take? For the completing the automation test, how much time it will take? 8 hours. So from 1 a.m., if it is 8 hours, when you are coming to office, guys, when you are coming to office, 9 a.m. So will you get the reports or not? Will you get the test reports or not? What do you think, guys? What do you think? Yes. Yes, right? So for such kind of reasons, we have to go with Jenkins. With Jenkins, we are also automating the execution initiation. Execution initiation is also getting automated, guys. Okay. So by the time you come to office next day, you will get all the reports as pass, fail, and everything. Based on this pass fails, you will start working at 9 a.m. Okay, you'll start working at 9 a.m. by looking at the reports to see what is passing, what is failing, why this is failing. All those things you will investigate. This is how your time is saved. You don't have to be before your machine while your scripts are running. Okay, just go home. Jenkins at the appropriate time will initiate the execution, and by the time you again come to the office, you will get the report ready. Okay, not only you, but also your clients will see these reports. Okay, your manager will see your reports. Your okay, everyone in your team will see the reports like that. Okay, this is how Jenkins will help you. Clear, guys? What the advantage of Jenkins is clear at a high level or not now? So did you understand the purpose of Jenkins, guys? Did you understand the purpose of Jenkins? Is it clear for you? Type yes if it is clear, so that we'll go into the practical mode now. Great, fine. So guys, so another question we have here is, who will install Jenkins? Do you have to install Jenkins at your at your workplace, or some other person will install it for you? In real time, in real time, we will not install Jenkins. Okay, there will be separate team for this. Separate team is generally called as DevOps team. Okay, they will set up a server machine and install Jenkins in it. Okay, they'll configure Jenkins for us. So in your workplace, your company, some separate machine will be there where Jenkins will be installed. Who will be doing this? Who will be getting this Jenkins ready for us? DevOps team, separate DevOps team. And all the other people, like these are all the testers, they have their own laptops, right? What they will do, they'll simply they'll simply connect to this server where Jenkins is available and perform the jobs and all those stuff. Okay, you don't have to install, guys. You don't have to install it in your real time. You don't have to install, but for practice purpose, for understanding purpose, in this session I am going to explain how to install. Even though your job is not to install it, but still I am going to, for practicing Jenkins, for practicing the Jenkins, we need Jenkins installed in our machine, right? So that for that reason I am going to download and install. Okay, assume that I am the DevOps person. I'm setting up the Jenkins. So I'm going to behave myself as DevOps and going to install it in my machine now. How to install? These are the steps for installation, guys. Let me show you. So you have to go to you have to search for download Jenkins. Simply search for Jenkins download Jenkins or Jenkins download. Go to this page, scroll down, jenkins.io download page. Here download Jenkins is there. So LTS is there, long term support. So I will choose LTS. Under this we have this generic Java package var. Okay. So don't take any other things like Mac, all those Windows, or don't select any other option. Just select generic Java package .var option. Click on this. A Jenkins var file will be downloaded. So it's waiting, guys. Okay, I'll just make sure that this is not there. Okay, so download has not started yet. Again, let me refresh and again click on this Jenkins java.var. So waiting for something. So it has to download, guys. Okay, this var file has to be downloaded now. Let's wait for it to download. So this process will take some time, guys. You have to be very patient now. Okay, because all this process will take a lot of time. Okay, now Jenkins.war file got downloading. It's downloading, guys, in my machine. So all this process will take time. Jenkins installation is a very lengthy process. So you have to be very patient now. Okay, Jenkins.war got downloaded. Show in. So this is a Jenkins.war. From the place where Jenkins.war is available. Okay, just provide CMD. Okay, just provide command prompt. So Jenkins.war is available in my downloads folder. So see users username, downloads folder. Under downloads folder, we have this jenkins.var. We have to go to the location where jenkins.var is available and say java hyphen jar, give the name jenkins.var. Okay, jenkins.var. We have to give that command and press enter. So we are running the Jenkins. We are running the Jenkins. So we have to wait until we see some successful message. Jenkins is running kind of message we have to see. Let's wait for such kind of message to come. Okay. So some password has come here. Okay. Some password has come here. Some password has come here. So let's wait. Still, we didn't get that message, guys. Yeah, we got this message here. You see, Jenkins is fully up and running. Okay, Jenkins is fully up and running. And we also see some password here. We see some password here. You see, there is some password. Please use the following password to proceed the installation. And you can also find this password at this location they are saying. Let's go to this location, guys. See users. Okay, we'll go to the location like see users, username, see users username, Jenkins, dot Jenkins we have to go. In that username we have to find dot Jenkins, and in that some secrets folder, I guess. Secrets folder, go to secrets folder, and in secrets folder it's saying initial admin password file. Okay, initial admin password file. Right click on this file and say edit with notepad or something. Okay, just open this file in a notepad or some text file or whatever you feel convenient. Okay, so open with some file. So I have the notepad plus plus in my machine. I'm just opening with notepad plus plus. Okay, in your case you can open with some text editors and all. If you don't have notepad plus plus, you can right click here and open with the required file. Okay, like this, right click, open with notepad you can select. If you don't have notepad plus plus, you can open with notepad, that's fine. So for now I'm opening with my notepad plus plus because I have notepad plus plus here. So this is the password, guys. This is the password we got. And also at same time it's saying that Jenkins is fully up and running. This is the message we have to see. Okay, so once Jenkins is up and running, don't close this command prompt. Okay, if you close this command prompt, Jenkins will close again. So it should be up only. Okay, Jenkins is fully up and running, don't close this command prompt. Now go to your browser. Okay, go to your, open any browser here. So like this, you can close everything, open the browser here and type localhost colon 8080. This is the default port at which Jenkins will be running. So when the Jenkins is fully up and running, when the Jenkins is really running, then it will run at this particular default port number. Localhost means this is my own machine. So I don't have to give the IP address, right? Since I'm opening only in my machine, I don't have to give the IP address of my machine. Instead of IP address, I'm giving localhost, then colon, then what is the port number at which Jenkins will be running by default? 8080. Press enter. Okay, type this localhost 8080, localhost colon 8080 and press enter. Then you will get this dialog, unlock Jenkins, and it's asking for the password. We already have the password here. Copy this password and paste it here and click on continue. When you click on continue, so something is happening. Customize Jenkins. Two options are coming. Install suggested plugins, select plugins to install. We'll go with the install suggested. By default, you see this is highlighted. Okay, install suggested plugins. Select this. This will take a lot of time, guys. Okay, this is going to take a lot of time. So all the plugins should be downloaded now. Let's wait for it, at least for it to start. Unable to connect to Jenkins, it's saying. So there is some problem. Let's repeat it. So without this, we cannot proceed, guys. There is some problem happening. I don't know why. Jenkins is not able to connect. Yesterday it was working for me, guys. I was making sure everything is okay. But somehow there is a problem from Jenkins side only. Okay. This should work, otherwise we cannot proceed. Localhost, install suggested plugins. This should work, guys. Sometimes what happens is like some problems will be there from Jenkins side. Okay, so all these plugins need to be downloaded from the Jenkins only. We cannot proceed without this. There is no other way. You see, this time it started, guys. Maybe we have given a wrong password earlier. Okay, looks like we have given a wrong password earlier, guys. Nothing much. This password, I may have given a wrong old password or something. So if you give the password correctly, make sure that you give the proper, you copy the password correctly like this. Copy this, okay, and give it in a proper way. Then only it will work. This kind of thing you should get. If you give the proper password, after you say install suggested plugins, you should see all these plugins should be installing. Okay. If it's not connecting to the Jenkins, you may have provided a wrong password. Okay. Make sure you have given the password properly. Okay. Then things will work for you guys. You don't have to get confused. Fine. So even a wrong space also will cause a password problem. You should not give this. If you copy like this extra space is coming. You see, extra space is copying. So make sure when you are copying the passwords, make sure you copy the password exactly like this. Fine. Give the proper password, and this install suggested plugins will start installing like this. So we have to wait until all the plugins has to be installed. I don't want you to wait for. I don't want to record all these plugins to be installed in your video, guys. So what I will do is I will simply pause the video and will resume video once all the plugins got installed. Okay, I'll pause for a while. I'll pause this current session for a while. So we are almost there. Only one more plugin left to be installed. Almost all plugins have successfully been installed here. So it took a lot of time for me uh, to get to this level. So looks like all the plugins got successfully installed. Now once this is done 100%, then we'll get some option here. Okay, or it will take us to the next thing to be done. Let's wait. Let's wait for it to progress completely. But all the plugins have been successfully installed. All the suggested plugins have been successfully installed. So here we have to give some username, guys. Create first admin user. We have to give some username. I am giving the username as Arun Moturi. My name I am giving Arun Moturi. Password 12345 I am giving. Again 12345. Just to remember, I am giving the username and password in a easy manner. Then full name. I'm giving my full name as Arun Moturi. I'm giving my email address arun.moturi@gmail.com. That's fine. And click on save and continue. You have to remember this username and password, guys. Okay. Just in your case, you can note it down. What's the username of Jenkins? What is the password of Jenkins? I can remember for now. Okay. Fine. So this is the Jenkins URL. We already using localhost 8080, right? Click on save and finish. Jenkins is ready. Start using Jenkins. Click on start using Jenkins. Yeah, it has taken us to this page. Fine. So what next? Now Jenkins is up and running and is ready for use. The next thing is we need to create a new job. Okay, we need to configure something, guys. Okay, so once the Jenkins is ready, we need to configure it with few things. Okay, we need to make few changes. What is that? We have to go to this manage Jenkins. Okay, you have to go to this manage Jenkins, and here global tool configuration we have to select. After going there, after going to this global tool configuration, here we need to set this JDK and this Maven. Two things we have to set, guys. This JDK and this Maven we have to set. How to do that? Under JDK, you see add JDK option. Click on this. When you say add JDK, this section will come. Okay, this section will come. There you have to give something. So uncheck this option. Install automatically. Just remove this. We have to provide Java underscore home here. Okay, Java underscore home here. For that, go to your computer, C drive, program files where you have Java installed, Java, JDK. This is a location of the home. Copy this path and come to here and paste it here. I'll simply copy this, guys, as name. Okay, you can give any name here. I'm just giving JDK hyphen the just this name. Okay, so JDK installation is done. Now go to Maven, click on add Maven. Again, select uncheck this option, install automatically option. Here we have to give Maven underscore home. Go to your C drive in one of the previous session where we installed Maven. Okay, this Maven was there. Maven folder we kept. So go to that Maven folder. Go inside this Apache Maven and copy up to here. And go to the Maven home and paste it. Here also copy this as name. Copy this portion as name. Copy this part and paste it here. That's it. Now save it. Apply and save. Apply and save. That's it. These are the configuration things you have to do. Once Jenkins is ready, you have to configure it. Again, go to the home page of Jenkins. Jenkins, welcome to Jenkins, and all these things will be displayed. Next, we have to create a new job in Jenkins. We have to create a new job in Jenkins. From the Jenkins home, select new item. Click on new item. Here, enter an item. So here you can enter any name, guys. Okay, Jenkins job name you can enter. Let's say Jenkins demo job. Okay, demo job. Jenkins demo job I am giving, and from this list select freestyle project. Select this freestyle project and click on OK. That's it. Fine. When you click on OK, it will take you to the configuration page of this job configuration. Okay. So what you have to do next is you have to click on this advanced button. Okay. You have to click on this advanced button. Then you will see this use custom option workspace. Select this. Select this option. And here in the directory, you have to give the path of your directory. So go here, and this is a project, right? Right click on this project, say properties, copy this path and paste it here. That's it. Nothing more than that. Use custom workspace. Give this project path. What next? So this is not required. Directory and give your project path. Okay. Give your project path. Then scroll down, add build step. Here invoke, or which one we have to say, invoke top level Maven targets, I guess. Okay. Let's confirm this. Invoke top level Maven targets. You have to select. Okay. You want to execute the Maven commands here. You know the Maven commands already, right? In the last section, I explained mvn test, mvn -d. Okay. This profiles thing, all those things. These are the commands you can run. So same thing we can run from the Jenkins by selecting build, add build, step, invoke top level Maven targets. Here Maven version it is asking. So select this. It will be by default. Okay. Apache Maven 3.6.3. It will be showing this command. Just select this version. In the goals, you have to give the command. If you want to give a normal command, mvn test you can give. Okay. But this mvn is not required, guys. This mvn is not required. Only test is enough. Or you want to give another command. Let's say you want to execute a individual test from the project. So you have to provide this command, right? This complete command you have to provide. So here again, mvn is not required. -d is equal to, for example, in our project we have 3 tests. Okay, 3 tests space test. Like this, we have to give the command. For now, I'm giving only test command, guys. Normal mvn test command we have to give in the goals. Okay, instead of giving mvn test, we have to give simply test. That's it. Any other steps left? No. Here, any other steps left? No. Okay, and simply save it, guys. Nothing more than that. Okay, apply and save. That's it. Now, what next, guys? Go to home page, or this page is also fine. Project Jenkins demo job is also fine. You can either click build now from here or go to home, and this job has been created here, as you can see. Here, from here also you can select build now. Okay, any page. Let's say from here, go to home page, and Jenkins demo job got created from the new items we created just now. Just select this drop down and select build now. You see what's happening? Something is executing. Something is getting executed, guys. So mvn test will execute. What, guys? mvn test will execute. Scripts are running. All the tests in the project will be executed now. Okay. So the execution has been done, I guess. Last success is not came. Just refresh it once. You will see this hash one build. Okay, just refresh. You will see this. Click on this hash one. Go to the console output to see the results. So these are the results, guys. How many tests has run? 4 tests. 4 tests has run. Okay, everything has passed. Like this, we can run the Jenkins. Test from the Jenkins, guys. We can run the test from the Jenkins. We have to say build now to run. We have to go to the results and output console to see the results. Output console, console output to see the results. Okay. From Jenkins, we are running. Now, guys, I want this particular thing in a report, not like this. Okay. I want a proper report. What I have to do? For that, we need to install a plugin, guys. Okay. We have to install a TestNG results plugin. How to install plugin in the Jenkins? Go back to Jenkins. Go back to manage Jenkins. And here manage plugins option will be there. Go here and here select available and search for TestNG. Search for TestNG here. Okay. After going to available, after let it load completely, just search for TestNG here. TestNG. You'll get this TestNG results. Okay. Test reports plugin. Select this. Install without restart. You have to select. Install without restart. You see, pending, pending. This should be successful. Once this is successful, that plugin is you see TestNG results success. Go to Jenkins. This time run again. This is a hash one. You see, hash one is there. It took 2 minutes 7 seconds to run, right? So now build again, build now. So this time we have to get hash two. Build now. From Jenkins, we are executing the test case. Okay. We configured the Jenkins job in such a way that it will execute this mvn test command, and these tests are getting executed. As you can see, the tests are getting executed when I am running from Jenkins. You see, the test is still running. It's done. Now refresh. Hash 2 has come. Click on hash 2. You see, console output is there. Okay. Console output has come. That's correct. But I don't have any SNG related stuff. Why that is so? I'll open this and say build now. I'm running for the third time, guys. I'm running for the third time. You see, hash 3 is running. I should get SNG results. I'm not getting that. I have to see why it's not coming. Okay, let's see. I've installed TestNG results plugin, but still I'm not seeing any TestNG option. That should come, but it's not coming. Click on this. It's not coming. Console output. So we'll see one thing. We'll do one thing. We'll close this Jenkins and we'll reopen this once to see any temporary glitches are there. Localhost. What is the username, guys? Username is Arun Motori. Password is 12345. Click on sign in. Okay. Hash 3. I'm not getting that. Console output. So let's run again to see our luck. This time hash 4 is done running. Okay, script is executing. Okay, refresh. Go here. I'm not getting that reports. I don't know why we are not getting the reports. So it should come by this time. So go to manage plugins available. Did I install a proper thing or not? Test ng results plugin. Test ng is installed actually. Okay. If you go to install tab, if I search for test ng, yeah, it is there. It's there, but somehow it's not working. Okay. Test ng results. I'm simply uninstalling it, guys. To install again. Uninstall it again. Go to available. Let's see if it comes. That's okay. Otherwise, leave it. Okay, this time if it comes, that's okay, guys. Plugins list is loading. I uninstalled it, but still it's not. Test ng search. Let me restart again. Localhost Motori 12345. Okay, go to Jenkins manage plugins available. Search for test ng. Still installed only, I guess. Test ng. Uninstallation pending. It's not uninstalled. Why it's not uninstalled? So some problem is with plugin, guys. That's okay. Okay. Otherwise, we would have got some reports along with this normal console output. Here, you will get test ng reports also. Okay. There is some problem going with this Jenkins and that plugin. That's okay. But you will get some test ng results. Okay. So for that, you have to do something. We'll ignore this part for now. Okay. We'll just remove this part from the section itself because thing is not working. Okay, that part is not working. We would have got some test ng results here. So what we would have done is like we have to go to configure after installing that plugin. Oh, got it. So the mistake I got it, guys. Okay, I just did that mistake. I didn't actually do one step here. Okay, that's the reason we are not getting the reports. Fine, but how to install it? So let's try to install it. Manage Jenkins plugins installed. This test ng is not uninstallation is still pending, so it's not uninstalled. It's already there. So at this point of time, we'll do one thing. We will configure the project, guys. Okay, I just forgot to configure the project, configure the job. So when Jenkins is there, you have to go to this post build actions, go here and publish test ng results. I have to say without this results will not come. Okay, this particular line has added because in our project under where, guys, test ng XML reports, right? Under surefire reports, we have this what is that file? Test ng results.xml. Test ng results.xml. This particular Jenkins job will use this test ng results -results XML to generate the test ng reports. Fine, it is automatically coming. You don't have to worry. Simply say apply and save. So this time go to Jenkins and build now. Sometimes it's okay to forget, guys. Okay, so sometimes we forget the things. So I too forgot the thing. Like here, I have to add this. Sorry, I have to get it back, right? I have to after actually installing the test ng plugin, I have to configure it in the project. Otherwise, I will not get the test ng results. So it's done. Refresh it. #5 will come. Click on #5. This time you got the test ng results. Only thing that was missing from my side was this part I didn't do. Okay, I did only up to here. I have to configure the test ng results plugin also. Okay, by going to the job. Then I got the test ng results. Apart from the console output, I also got the test ng results. This is a report, guys. This is a report. Test ng results report. So test ng results, no failures. 4 out of 4 tests got passed. And this is a package name. And this is the total number of tests. Nothing got failed. Fine. Duration is 9 minutes something. Okay, it's saying something like that. So like this, guys, we have to install test ng results plugin and then configure. You don't have to uninstall, guys. This step was missing. That's why we didn't get the test ng reports. Okay, now we got it because after installing, we have to configure it. We have to go to the job. We have to go to the Jenkins job and we have to select configure from here. And this in this configuration, go to the end. Okay, go to the end and say add post build actions, publish test ng results, publish test ng results, and apply and save. Then you will get the test ng results reports. Fine. So we are done with Maven and Jenkins for today. This part I will take it tomorrow because it will take a lot of time. Okay, we don't have time today, so we'll take it tomorrow, guys. So today I covered Maven part 2, commands and Jenkins. Okay, and Jenkins. So now you know, right, why we need to learn Maven commands. For Jenkins, we require Maven commands only. Here, if you want to run a particular test, you have to configure like that. Okay. So you have to learn Maven commands. When you run Maven commands, then you can put that Maven commands in the Jenkins. You have to put that Maven commands in the Jenkins. That's why Maven commands and Jenkins are required. Fine. So we are done with Maven part 2 and Jenkins. I will simply, instead of part 2, I will say commands, guys. Okay. Maven commands and Jenkins, because Maven is already covered as part of part 1 in the session 20. Now here in this session, we continued Maven by saying Maven commands which are required for Jenkins. So guys, is it clear so far? So far, is it clear, guys? So what did you understand today's session? Maven commands and Jenkins. How to configure? These are all configurations, right? Most of the things are configurations. Nothing more than that. Okay. So is everyone clear, guys? Type S if everyone is clear. Type S, guys, if it is clear for you, or ask questions. Fine. Looks like everyone is clear. I see a lot of S's in the chat. That's fine. That's all for today's session, guys. See you guys. Bye, guys. See you in tomorrow's session. Bye.